Greetings there, friend. I'm Joe, a tester and longtime player of Anomalous activities, and today I'll show you how to play this wonderfully frustrating game. Let's get to it. In Anomalous activities, most of your time playing, you'll be an operative of the Mobile Elimination Reconnaissance Corporation. Your job is to activate these funky-looking anchors, or shooting this guy here to death. Since you're a beginner, unless you're blessed by John Anomalous, you won't be doing much fighting against the subject. It takes a lot of time to get the game sense and muscle memory to fight the subject head on. I myself at 400 plus still struggle a lot of times. So as a merc, at the start of the game, if the server you run is full, you will spawn in a squad of 3 teammates. I heavily advise you that you stick with these teammates. You can watch what they do and try to help in any way you can, however, it is fine to split up with your team to do anchors, if there are other mercs nearby to watch your back. Now, the loadout you're given when you first join Anomalous activities is pretty meh, but the one I do heavily recommend is as follows. For your primary, equip a Tarx 100. Your secondary slot should be spare mags or a scatter ball, and for your pistol, you should use the Enforcer M10. For your auxiliary, equip the MTI stims or a flashbang. Your tactical, you really have to decide on your own. There's no real wrong answer here, but I suggest you go with the C-Tech flares at first, or the ODS camera for detecting the subject before he even attacks. For your equipment, you should always make sure to have at least one flare slot. Maps are extremely dark in Anomalous activities, and oftentimes you'll find mutations that require you to bring flares. I also recommend bringing at least one Enforcer nano grenade for some area denial. It's not foolproof, but it helps when you need a place to retreat to. Also, consider bringing an inward combat shot. These things have been nerfed in a recent update, however, they are still a great choice if you're about to enter a fight. They speed you up, reduce your recoil, and increase your reload speed. This is a bit of a more built-up skill over time, so I can only give you some pointers here. Okay, so for number 1, if you think you saw the subject, just shoot. Do not second guess yourself, better to look stupid than be dead. For number 2, if a subject is attacking your teammate, turn your laser on by holding down right click, then try shooting if you see it turn red. Now for number 3, if the subject is attacking you, your best bet is to just turn your back to a wall and just shoot in the direction you think they are. You're almost never going to solo the subject, but if you do, hey, you should feel proud of yourself, man. But never, and I mean never, build an ego. So for my last suggestion, if you manage to scare the subject off after a fight, try to run back to your teammates. If it's only you left, that's gonna have to be up to your own intuition on what to do next. Now, terraformers are something I hate with all my heart fighting, but that doesn't mean you will too. There are currently 3 available terraforms for the subject to use, and they are as follows. The Night Demon, primarily used for offense. The Grave Mother, primarily used for defense. And the Corpse Lore, primarily used for ambush attacks. All terraforms have 3 possible abilities. Their M1, their M2, and their shift ability. The Night Demon is the strongest terraform in terms of HP. He can attack single mercs with his M1, or do an AoE attack with his M2. Which deals less damage, I believe. The Night Demon's shift ability makes him scream and shake your camera, all the while putting him into a full sprint to chase down mercs. The Grave Mother is the second strongest in terms of HP. Her M1 is a typical melee attack with some outrageous range. Her M2 throws a ranged ability which acts as an area denial, dealing damage to any mercs who wander nearby. Her shift is Requiem, which summons some sort of obelisks, I don't know what the fuck they are, and they drain your HP. And once they drain enough, they spawn in a single Grave Walker. The Corpse Flower is a sneaky little bastard. He takes the form of allied mercs upon transforming and can easily ambush unsuspecting mercs. His M1 is a typical melee attack, and his M2 is a far longer lunge attack, which is extremely buggy. His shift ability makes him immune to all damage for 5 seconds, while heavily decreasing his attack speed cooldown and slightly increasing his movement speed. Well, at least it's supposed to. Corpse Flower is the buggiest terraform in the game. Now, here are just some helpful sound cues you could get familiar with. They're really helpful to know. You know, of course, yeah. Alright. everything else you can learn along the way, do note that you will die a whole lot regardless of your experience. The game, it contains a really high skill ceiling, and odds are you will be thrown into lobbies with year-long veterans such as myself, rather than newbies like yourself. The game can be extremely fun and challenging, but it can also be extremely annoying. That being said, the subject tutorial will most likely come soon after this video. That's all for now. Go do your job, M.E.R.C. The AOF is counting on you.